Hi, this is Mrs. Hibbler, and I am here to talk about the Photosynthesis Lab that I will be doing with my students here at Brophy tomorrow. This is for the energy unit, and you basically start with some spinach leaves. I just bought a bag of spinach from the store. You get several leaves out. I try to find leaves that look like they're not too damaged, and then I just pat them dry, make sure that they're okay. And then I get my chamber. I've covered my chamber with aluminum foil because the first data set that we get is going to be run in the dark. I have a light source here, and I put water between my light source and the container roll I'll be collecting the data. So you can see this is a light source, and then you have water, and then you have your chamber where you have your spinach leaves. I put my CO2 sensor in there, and then I would actually set this up to collect data for 15 minutes. And I actually think it would be appropriate to do 2 samples per minute. And then I would hit run. And I allow this to graph. The students, I can ask them what they expect to happen, what they predict would happen. They can graph their predictions. What would they predict to happen over if spinach leaves are not exposed to light, they're in the dark, what would they expect to happen to CO2 levels? So you can see the data is collecting. I have my students write this data down as the data is coming up, or you can actually store the data on the LabQuest. You can actually print from the LabQuest, etc. They can actually calculate best fit line. They can calculate slope of line from the LabQuest, but I would have the students do that by hand. So you can see here just after the first minute and a half, it looks like the CO2 levels are going up. Let's get one more data point and see what happens. So CO2 levels are going up. So they would collect this data for about 10 or 15 minutes. 15 minutes would be best, but sometimes, you know, if you're running out of time, maybe do 12 minutes. So this is going pretty well. Once this was done, we would stop collecting data, and then I would take the aluminum foil off of here. And I would run the experiment again. And this time, I'm going to run the experiment, and hopefully those leaves are getting some light. So I'm going to hit play again. And so students are asked to graph their data in their lab book. They're asked to create a slope of the line for each line. And they're asked to write a brief summary of the lab. They're asked to answer the question for the lab. Do plants respire all the time? What's the relationship between sugars and carbon dioxide and oxygen? And I have some data that I've collected for you guys for today. So we'll look at that right now.